Doing a quick sketch this morning, and I thought I'd do a video on shortcuts that I use to help my workflow go along a lot smoother. So yeah, let's dive into it. So the first one is to actually set a dedicated key on your pen, or your tablet pen, into the tilde eraser tool. What I mean by that is, well, if let's take a look at your eraser right over here. If you click on the eraser, or you could, switch your pen upside down so that you can use it as an eraser, you're pretty much relegated to the default brushes, which are the brushes without the little icons on the upper right hand side. So you're pretty much stuck with that. So let's say I use a custom brush like this, and then I go back to eraser. You can see that it goes back to the default brushes. You're pretty much stuck with this. So there's no going around that, which is kind of sad. However, you can turn the custom brushes or any brushes that you are using into an eraser by simply holding down on the tilde key. The tilde key is the little key on the top. I believe it's above the tab key. Put it up here. So it's a little squiggly key, a squiggly line, and then a little, I guess, upside down apostrophe. I'm not even sure what to call that. But it's called a tilde key or a squiggly key. I guess I've heard people refer to it as. But hold down on this key. So when I'm painting like this and holding down on that key, I'll turn my custom brushes into an eraser, which is really cool. So it really helps you kind of just, your workflow run a little bit smoother, so that you don't have to keep switching to an eraser, or holding down on the E key, or switching to an eraser that maybe doesn't work for what you're doing and you want to use something with textured edges to it. So that's a really handy thing to do. Now what I like to do though is to go a little bit further by opening up my tablet tablet settings. Now if you're working with a Huion X Pen, you should have a tablet settings for your pens as well. However, if you're working with a Wacom, so this is for Wacom users here, all you have to do is click on the Pro Pen or whatever pen you're using. If you're using a bamboo pen, that works too. And then go to the pen settings here. Now, I think on a bamboo pen, I'm not sure if it has a second key or not. It's been a while since I've used a bamboo pen, so you guys have to take a look at that. But most of the Pro pens and a lot of the even the other party tablets like Huion and X Pen, they have usually two little buttons right over here. So what you want to do is to leave the right click alone, because that's the one that brings up the brush. And then on the top here, the second button, which is right above it, like towards the eraser tip, click on it, go to keystroke, keyboard, keystroke. And then you can see here I already have it mapped out, but let's clear it. Click on that tilde key or the squiggly key. Just click on that once and press OK. And then you set it there. So while I'm painting, I could just hold down on that key and erase it if I want. I don't need to flip my pen over. Now, I think you could also set the back tip as a pen eraser if you'd like, but I really like just to have my finger right above the eraser tool every time I'm painting. It saves me a lot of time. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you want to keep the right click open, because the right click is the one that opens up your brush picker. Instead of having to go up here, you can just click on that and then you can pick whatever brush you want, paint, and then hold down on that tilde key, tilde erase key, and then erase it. Now another thing that you can that I use a lot is to bring up the sizing, the brush sizing. So all you have to do is to hold down on Control Option for the Mac or Control Alt for the PC. So when you hold those keys together, You could go up to make your brush bigger, or you can go side to side to make it bigger or smaller, up and down to make it hard or soft. Let me use one of the default brushes. I think it shows that a little bit better. So hold down on Control Option for the Mac or Control Alt for the PC. Up and down messes with the hardness. Side to side messes with the diameter of it. So that's pretty cool. Another shortcut that you guys could use is the opacity. Just by clicking on the numbers on the top of the keys, so like 1, 2, 3, to all the way to 0, you can set the opacity of your brushes. So 1 is the lightest, 0 is 100%. You can kind of see that in the opacity slider right over here. So 10% is 10% increments. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. It just goes up in percentages. And then last thing I'm going to mention is the HUD, the color HUD. Now you can choose a color right over here, which is great. I often use the windows, the color window right over here, and I can set it back to the window pane here. However, sometimes I'm kind of into my painting and I'd like to let the color HUD just pop up where my pen is. In order to do that, hold down on Control Alt Command for the Mac, or Control Option Command for the Mac, or Control Alt Windows for the PC. So Control kind of tongue tied today. Control Option Command, hold it down, and then your color picker pops up. Again, that's Control Option Command for the Mac, or Control Alt Windows for the PC. And you can pick a color. Let's say orange, and then hold down on Control Option or Control Alt. Mess with the hardness and the size. I'll set it to 0 for 100% opacity. Paint. Hold down on the brush key that we just created, and then erase. So those are a few things of my most used features and shortcuts that I use in Photoshop while I'm working. Really saves you a lot of time, because that's pretty much the goal here. You don't want to spend like too long of a time to paint, because honestly a huge part of it is switching between keys and finding the right tools to use. So having the tools handy there to begin with will really help you out in the long run. Alright, that's pretty much it. Have a great day, everybody.